Okay, well, a lot of cameras going on here. Let's see what happens. All right, hey guys. Today we're gonna have a look at some of the TUSK lineup from Rocky Mountain MC. It's their proprietary brand. They have quite a large selection of tools and accessory parts for adventure bikes. They certainly have a lot of stuff for the KLR 650, which is fantastic. And I mean, they're great parts. They seem to stand up well, and the company has a really great reputation. So when they first reached out to me in February of last year about putting together a page for their website, I immediately reached out to the members over on Patreon and asked them about their experiences with Rocky Mountain, and it was all positive. Super cool to hear that feedback, that kind of excellent response. Not only did everyone seem to have really good luck with the items and the parts, but they were really impressed with the quality of service. So it made joining up with Rocky Mountain a bit of a no-brainer. Now, the website page is linked in the description, and 99% of everything on there I've actually had a chance to use and test, and it stood up really well. And as things move forward and I get to try out more stuff, more things and more items will be added to that page. Now, full disclosure, if you guys go to the Mason's ADV page on Rocky Mountain and you click a link, there is a benefit to me and the channel. We get a little bit of a percentage back on everything you buy at no charge to you. So it really does help us out. So thank you very much to everyone that's used the links. It goes a long way for sure around here. Now, let's get into this. So the TUSK lineup is stout. There is a ton of stuff, not only parts, but certainly tools, accessories. They're getting into some of the camping stuff. They've sent me a TUSK camp chair, which is super comfortable, by the way. And their tools seem to be really well built and well thought out. Now, I have something similar. Let's start here. They sent me this little T-handle set. Comes with sockets, the adapter for your bits, and a couple bits that you can change out. But then it comes with this T-handle set that comes apart, which makes it super handy for fitting into the tool bag. So I'm gonna change out the one that I have in the tool bag now with this one, and I'm gonna use this going forward. So I'll be able to, well, you'll see it in action as we go through the winter here in the maintenance. But pretty slick actually because of the way it breaks down. Most of them, you know, even if the T-bar does fold, it still ends up being a little bit larger. So this is kind of nice. Excited to get that into the toolkit. The other thing we have here is a bead buddy. I mean, that's self-explanatory. After you break your bead, this slips onto the rim and around a spoke on the tire, and it holds that as you work your way around. Fantastic piece of equipment regardless of the brand name. It's just they do happen to have one, and they have sent one over for me to try. So that'll go in the kit as well. Now, the other thing that I was desperately in need of for the KLR is a set of feeler gauges. Now, these TUSK ones are pretty slick because they're pointed, or tapered, I guess, rather. So that should make getting into the valve shims on the KLR a little bit easier this winter. So those are going to be used when we check the valves. Another thing they sent over was the valve stem puller. So you thread this through the rim and out, and you thread this into the valve stem of the tube, and it helps you pull the tube valve stem through the hole in the rim. I do have a video on my tire change, and you can see me use a different one from a different brand, but to pull the valve stem of the tube through the rim, this is super handy. I mean, on the side of the road when it's hot and you're struggling, just getting that in there can be an absolute nightmare. This takes all the stress out of that. The nice thing about this one is the fact that this end spins. The other one that I have, you had to turn the whole device. which made it a little bit more finicky. So I'm pretty excited about this. Not only that, but it also has a valve stem removal tool on the end of it. So slick. That's going to go in the kit too. So that covers the tools that they've sent me. 3 of them are going to go onto the bike. This one stays in the shop for when I do my valve check. And then we'll get into some of the parts that they've sent along. So TUSK brand oil filters. It shouldn't have surprised me, but it did when those were in the box. That's always handy. I change my oil maybe a little bit more frequently than some. So that goes a long way for sure too. Then they sent along a high flow air filter. I haven't opened it yet. Maybe we should do that, eh? Should we open it and have a look? Now I have always run the unis, but there's the high flow. Actually, that rubber gasket is a nice touch. The unis don't have that. It's just the filters cut out and the screw for the inner bracket kind of holds it together. So that's actually a really nice feature. So we'll get this oiled up and on the bike and we'll see how it goes. I mean, the thing about the KLR is that it's just a big single, but it can draw a lot of air. And once the air filter starts to get dirty, I can actually notice a drop in power. So last year on the trip, for example, I ended up carrying 2 extra filters. And even with my 2 extra filters, I still had to find a spot to clean one and re-oil it on the trail. Brake pads. Haven't had a chance to try these yet. Obviously, they're still in the package. We're going to get into talking about a little bit more about the brakes, front brakes specifically on the KLR, and because they sent me over another really cool piece of equipment too. The thing is that if you're noticing that your brakes on the KLR are spongy or soft, the #1 thing to change is that front brake line, and to go with a steel braided brake line like this. Now, I did the brake line and good aftermarket brake pads at the same time. So some of it might be the pad, I'm not sure. But after I did that mod on the KLR, my stopping power, I mean, it was cut in half. There's not many bikes that I could ride with even today that can outbrake me on the KLR. It really does grab really well, works good, doesn't slip, doesn't feel spongy. I also, every year though, I do bleed out my brake fluid. I bleed it through, get some fresh through, get the dirty stuff out, the worn and overheated stuff out. So proper maintenance goes a long way too. But some of it might have been those brake pads, so I'm excited to try these ones out. This winter I'm gonna throw these on the KLR, and we're gonna have a look or a feel on how the TUSK brand seems to perform, and I'll get back to you on that. This is the part I was the most excited to see in the box. Here we have the oversized floating Typhoon brake rotor. Comes with the adapter to offset the front brake caliper. So, here, let's offer this up, and then you guys can see. So that's the oversized Typhoon brake rotor. And then this bracket goes onto these bolts and offsets the existing brake caliper to space it out for this size of rotor. So, I just wanted to mention that in my opinion, the most important thing to do is that steel braided brake line. However, I haven't had a chance to try this yet. And I mean, I'm excited anyway because it's just physically bigger, more surface area, more heat dissipation. It's all good. It might even be. Yeah, it appears to be slightly thicker too, unless my existing brake rotor is just worn, which is possible. I think the pads I have on the KLR right now are fairly aggressive. But yes, so more heat dissipation, more surface area, should be running cooler, should have just as good a grab. The other thing is too, as this gets physically larger, the geometry on that stopping power is also exponentially greater, which is very cool. Takes less force at a bigger diameter than it does at a smaller diameter to stop the same circumference of tire. So excited to get this on. So that's one thing we're going to do this winter. We're gonna run the high flow air filter, the TUSK oil filters, and then we're gonna bolt on this front caliper with the offset spacer, and we'll see how that works. So a huge thank you to the guys over at Rocky Mountain for sending this stuff through. There's not many mods I haven't done to the KLR, and I would have got around to this eventually. It just wasn't really high on my list because the brakes, you know, have been excellent since I did that steel braided line. So yeah, excited to try it out. Very cool. Anyway, guys, like I said, the page is up. The link's in the description. If you want to go over and check it out, make yourself a little bit of a Christmas list maybe from the stuff on Rocky Mountain. Seems like a good crew over there. Anyway, I'm going to get to bolting it on the bike, and I will talk to you guys again later. As always, thanks for watching. Mind how you go, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.
Hey guys, if you liked that video, hit the thumbs up button for us. It goes a long way towards helping out the channel. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button in the upper corner for new videos every Sunday. Be glad to have you along for the ride.